Good morning, you're watching Rajya Sabha television and I'm Smriti Rastogi with breakfast news. Let's begin the bulletin with the top headlines of this morning. Constitution 123rd Amendment Bill 2017 and National Commission for Backward Classes Repeal Bill 2017 passed with amendments in the Rajya Sabha. BJP's tribal nominee elected to Rajya Sabha from Madhya Pradesh, 5 TMC candidates and 1 Congress candidate elected from West Bengal to the upper house. Prime Minister in Assam to take stock of the flood situation and relief work announces 2 lakh rupees compensation for next of the kin of those killed in the floods. Nobody can beat Modi in 2019, says Nitish Kumar. Defense decision to snap ties with Grand Alliance. Senior leader Sharad Yadav has termed the decision unfortunate. And less than 10 days in the post, Antony Scaramucci is out as the White House Communications Director. The Constitution 123rd Amendment Bill 2017 and the National Commission for Backward Classes Repeal Bill 2017 were passed with amendments in the Rajya Sabha on Monday. The bill providing for setting up of a National Commission for Backward Classes was passed after dropping of Clause 3, to which 4 amendments moved by the Congress were approved by the House earlier. After a long discussion on the Constitution 123rd Amendment Bill 2017, the National Commission for Backward Classes Repeal Bill 2017 in the upper house, the bill was finally passed with amendments, leading to a setback for the government. Congress MP Digvijay Singh pressed for division in his amendments related to Clause 3 in the bill during voting.
I am moving the amendment number 27 to increase the number of members from 3 to 5 because this OBC constitutes almost more than 50% of the population of this country. Therefore, the number of members in this commission should be at least 5 and at least one of them should be a woman. And one of them should be from the minorities. This is amendment which is needed, sir, and also 29 also, sir, it should be in SC/ST. The provision is to participate and advise. That has not been kept in this because the argument has been that they have incorporated the total SC/ST commission into this. But in this, they have not incorporated the words to advise on, to participate.
So that means
and advise.
You are moving.
Yes. And 30th also,
you are moving.
We are moving.
The government assured that this will be incorporated in rules, but the opposition did not relent. This clause was amended with 50% of the votes, but could not be adopted by the 2/3 majority. Following this, the chair had to remove the entire clause from the bill.
इस संबंध में जो आप संशोधन लाए हैं, इस संबंध में मैंने पहले विस्तार से बताया है और मैं निवेदन करना चाहूँगा कि जहाँ तक सदस्यों की संख्या का सवाल है और उसमें एक महिला सदस्य होने का प्रश्न है, तो नियम बनाते समय इस प्रकार की बात का हम ध्यान रखेंगे और जहाँ तक राज्यपाल की राय का सवाल है, वो तो राज्य सरकार के राय ही होगी, इसलिए इसको अगर वो स्वीकार कर ले और अपना संशोधन वापस ले ले तो कृपा हो।
It is very simple, it is very clear. I will tell you, for the amendment, only simple majority is required. Now let me say, so amendment will be carried. After that, the clause will be amended clause. For that amended clause, all of you should vote together. Then only the bill will carry. Otherwise, the bill will collapse.
Acting upon the request of both the leader of the House and the leader of the opposition, the deputy chairman even suspended the proceedings of the House for some time, allowing both the sides to find a solution to the stalemate.
You cannot keep the lobbies closed. How can you do that? Yeah. There is no way. I'll tell you. Because
With no solution in sight, both sides accused each other of blocking the passage of the bill.
You create a bare structure of the commission, and in the rules you provide, and in both the rules you did not exclude anybody else, because there may be members who are not scheduled caste who may espouse the cause of the scheduled caste. This may help in social integration, and therefore this exclusion was not considered desirable any time between 2004 until today. And now you want the exclusion to be a part of the constitution itself. And therefore I would urge the honorable leader of opposition and his colleagues to seriously reconsider whether a constitutional provision saying everybody else will be excluded should really be included a part of the constitution itself.
Sir, ये part अगर कानून का हिस्सा नहीं है, इसके लिए सरकार responsible है, opposition responsible नहीं है. See, इनकी वजह से.
The deputy chairman then proceeded with taking up other clauses of the bill, and the House finally passed it in an amended form without clause 3. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV. The opposition on Monday targeted Modi government on the issue of mob lynching in the Lok Sabha. However, the ruling side asserted that it was the state government's responsibility to deal with such crimes, as all party members condemned the killings in the name of cow. Leader of Congress in the Lok Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, alleged that the Modi government was against minorities, Dalits and women. He said these sections bore the maximum brunt of mob violence. The Trinamool Congress also accused the BJP-led government of encouraging groups behind the violence by cow vigilantes. But the BJP slammed the opposition parties for targeting the centre and said that Prime Minister had repeatedly come out strongly against such acts.
जिस दिन मोदी जी ने लिंचिंग के खिलाफ एक बहुत बड़ा बयान दिया था और उन्होंने ये कहा था ऐसे लोगों के ऊपर एक्शन लेंगे, क्या एक्शन आपने लिया? हम पूछते हैं इस सदन के लीडर से, प्राइम मिनिस्टर से, क्या एक्शन आपने लिया? आप बात कर रहे हैं, आप हमेशा कहते हैं एक, करते हो दूसरा.
2010 to 17, 97% of the attacks were after BJP came to power, and 52% of the attacks were from BJP ruled state. मैं किसी को नाम नहीं ले रहा हूँ.
You cannot make this a country, a unified country according to your thought of unification. We are united, we were united, and we shall remain united for India, not for certain people's dreams.
अगर जुनैद को कोई हत्या कर रहा है तो वो हिंदू धर्म के रक्षा के नाम पर क्यों करे? वो हत्यारे हैं. और देश की सरकार हो या हमारे विरोधी पक्ष हो या पत्रकार हो, सबको ये कहना चाहिए हत्यारे हत्यारे हैं.
तो मैंने कहा धर्म के नाम पर भी अत्याचार है, हिंदू मुसलमान के नाम पर, ईसाई और हिंदू के नाम पर, क्रिश्चियंस के सिखों के नाम पर.
We have issued clear advisory to all the states and union territories of the country that mob lynching or anything related to that will not be acceptable.
जब जब जरूरत पड़ता है, हमको लगता है कि हमको इंटरवीन करना चाहिए, एडवाइजरी जारी करना चाहिए, मदद देना चाहिए, हम समय समय पे राज्य सरकार के साथ तालमेल रहा है.
BJP's tribal nominee Sampatya Uaiki on Monday was elected unopposed on the lone vacant Rajya Sabha seat from Madhya Pradesh. The bypoll was necessitated following the death of Environment Minister Anil Madhav Dave in May. Out of the total 11 Rajya Sabha seats in Madhya Pradesh, 8 seats are currently represented by the BJP, while the Congress holds 3. Meanwhile, 5 TMC candidates and a Congress candidate have been elected to the Rajya Sabha unopposed from West Bengal. The 5 TMC candidates elected to the Rajya Sabha are Manas Bunia, TMC's Chief National Spokesperson Derek O'Brien, Sukhendu Shekhar Roy, Dola Sen and Shanta Chetri. Congress candidate Pradeep Bhattacharya was also elected to the upper house. And the none of the above option or nota will be available to the MLAs who would cast vote on August 8th Rajya Sabha elections in Gujarat. The Rajya Sabha polls are taking place after almost 20 years in the state, and so it would be a first-time experience for most of the 182 MLAs. In the past 2 decades, elections were not required as the candidates were elected and opposed. And the Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has defended his decision of breaking his alliance with the RJD and Congress. Speaking to media in Patna, Kumar said that he couldn't tolerate the corruption in the RJD. He also said that there is no challenger for Modi in 2019. His statement came after the senior JDU leader Sharad Yadav expressed his disappointment over the prevailing situation in Bihar, saying it was very unpleasant and unfortunate.
Talking about the breakup of the Grand Alliance, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said he tried his best to save it but failed to do so. Kumar said it was RJD who had made objectionable statements against the Grand Alliance, even as the JDU refrained from saying anything.
हमारे सामने कोई दूसरा विकल्प नहीं था। महागठबंधन की सरकार चलाने का हमने अपनी क्षमता भर और गठबंधन धर्म का पालन करते हुए हमने पूरी कोशिश की। कई प्रकार की कठिनाइयां आती रही और जो समाचार पत्रों में, मीडिया में वो बातें मैंने उन बातों पर ध्यान नहीं दिया। खासकर राष्ट्रीय जनता दल की तरफ से अनेकों बार आपत्तिजनक बयान आए जो गठबंधन धर्म के बिल्कुल विपरीत था। कोई दूसरा नहीं काबिज हो सकता, सब बता मोदी जी का मुकाबला करने की किसी में क्षमता वगैरह है नहीं।
Earlier in the day, senior JDU leader Sharad Yadav finally broke his silence on Nitish Kumar's decision to leave the Grand Alliance. Calling the turn of events unfortunate, Yadav claimed that the mandate given by the people was being violated.
जो सारी परिस्थिति है हमारे लिए बहुत अप्रिय है। जो गठबंधन है देश के बिहार की 11 करोड़ जनता ने फैसला दिया था हमारे करार पर, तो गठबंधन के टूटने का हमको अफसोस है।
Reports suggest that the senior JDU leader is upset with Nitish for breaking up the Grand Alliance. In the past few days, Yadav also met several opposition leaders regarding the matter in Delhi. Echoing similar sentiment, the RJD has also supported the veteran JDU leader.
शरद जी के मन में बहुत पीड़ा है और उस पीड़ा को कहीं न कहीं जो है उन्होंने प्रदर्शित भी किया है और यह मजबूत संभावना है कि शरद जी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के खिलाफ जबरदस्त जो है शक्ति प्रदर्शन करने का काम करेंगे।
हमने कोई दल नहीं तोड़ा। नीतीश कुमार जी ने इस्तीफा दे दिया क्योंकि वो भ्रष्टाचारी लोगों के साथ रहना नहीं चाहते थे, तो मैं क्या बंदूक बताकर उनको साथ में रखने के लिए कहूँ?
शरद जी की अपनी बेचैनी है और वो उनके अपने कारण हो सकते हैं। मैं नहीं समझता हूं कि उनकी अब बिहार में कोई बहुत रुचि है। बिहार के पौधान से वो देश की राजनीति करते थे।
In another development, the Patna High Court has dismissed 2 petitions challenging the formation of a new government by Nitish Kumar's JDU after taking support of the BJP. It has said that no intervention of the court is required after the floor test in the State Assembly. In a surprise move last week, Nitish Kumar had resigned and pulled his party out of the Grand Alliance. He then allied with the BJP to form a new government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And with that, we'll slip into a very short break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
St. Thomas Basilica, one of the world's 3 churches that is built over the Tomb of Apostles. St. Thomas was one of the 12 apostles of Jesus Christ who brought Christianity to India. With an underground tomb where the remains of St. Thomas are laid, this magnificent basilica is of Gothic architecture. The stained glass of the church depicts some divine moments of St. Thomas's life. In 2006, this church was conferred with the status of National Shrine.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Assam to take stock of the flood situation and relief work there. He will hold discussions with Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal and senior officials. He will also chair a series of high-level meetings to review the situation in Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Manipur. Chief ministers and senior officials from these states are expected to be present. Ahead of his visit, the Prime Minister announced 2 lakh rupees compensation each for the next of the kin of those who lost their lives in the Assam floods. He also announced 50,000 rupees each for those seriously injured. Floods in Assam this year have claimed 82 lives so far. A 7-member inter-ministerial team that was on a 4-day visit to the state will soon submit a report with recommendations to the centre for early release of funds. Meanwhile, the flood toll in Gujarat has risen to 218 with 61 people killed in a worst hit Banaskantha district. The toll increased in the last 2 days after more bodies were recovered as floodwaters receded in Banaskantha and Patan districts. Around 4.5 lakh people were affected in the state, with over 39,000 people shifted to safer places and more than 11,000 rescued last week by Army, Air Force, NDRF and SDRF teams. Chief Minister Vijay Rupani is camping in the Banaskantha Patan area of the state for the last 4 to 5 days. He assured people that normalcy will be restored in another 10 days. Information and Broadcasting Minister Smriti Irani also inspected relief work in Banaskantha. And the Rajasthan government has announced a compensation of 1 lakh rupees each to the next of the kin of those who have lost their lives in the floods. As per the reports, the government also announced 25,000 rupees each for those critically injured and 10,000 rupees each for those who sustained minor injuries as compensation in Jalore, Sirohi, Pali and Barmer districts. Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje visited flood-hit areas in Jalore and Sirohi and reviewed the situation there. The deaths in West Bengal floods have risen to 39 with the death of 5 more persons. The situation was improving due to less rainfall and water level of the rivers receding. In 14 flood-hit districts, around 27 lakh people were badly affected. The administration opened around 311 relief camps where over 47,000 people have taken shelter.
केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार के समन्वय से लगभग 90 रिलीफ कैंप्स चलाए गए हैं, जिसके अंतर्गत 60,000 नागरिकों को मदद दी गई है। ये भी कहना उचित है कि अब तक का आंकड़ा रिलीफ मटेरियल के डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन का, विशेषतः फूड पैकेट्स का 20 लाख की संख्या से ज्यादा का आंकड़ा है।
अभी हम घूम के देख रहे थे, सारे गांव वासियों से मिल रहे थे। बहुत दिनों के बाद इस प्रकार की एक बड़ा कट हुई है, घाई यहाँ कहते हैं वो हुई है। यहाँ की प्रशासन थोड़ा और रिलीव करनी चाहिए।
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has hit out at the Pakistan, saying cross-border terrorism directed at India is now recognized as a larger regional and global challenge. Addressing a US Indo think tank in New Delhi, Swaraj said there is a growing convergence between New Delhi and Washington to counter it. She also underlined the need for respecting sovereignty and territorial integrity while carrying out connectivity projects seen as a reference to China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative. Referring to India's deteriorating ties with Pakistan, Swaraj said the neighborhood-first policy of the government has yielded results with all the countries in the region barring one. She also identified Afghanistan as an important theatre of cooperation over the last decade and half between India and US.
We have been facing cross-border terrorism for many years now. This is now recognized as a larger regional, even global challenge. The clear and unambiguous message given jointly by PM Modi and President Trump needs to be pursued with resolve by the international community. We deeply appreciate the sacrifices made by the US to preserve peace, security and democracy in Afghanistan. However, it is important that the international community, particularly the US, must remain engaged in Afghanistan so that the gains of last 16 years are not frittered away.
A group of union secretaries led by Union Home Secretary Rajiv Mehrishi met J&K Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti on Monday. The secretaries briefed Mufti about the execution of the development plans by various union ministries in the state under Prime Minister's development package. The Chief Minister asked the union secretaries to expedite the release of funds to the state so as to accomplish tasks on time. She also laid emphasis on pacing up skill development and development of sports infrastructure, saying youth development is the top agenda of her government. The Chief Minister specifically asked for setting up of incubation centres for skill development and employability of the youth, besides working on corporate linkages for their absorption. And in a last-minute decision, the Central Board of Direct Taxes on Monday extended the deadline for filing of income tax returns to 5th of August. The last date for filing of IT returns was July 31st. Income Tax Department said in a tweet that the date has been extended in view of the difficulties faced by taxpayers. The decision was taken after a meeting of the Revenue Department and the Central Board of Direct Taxes held in the Finance Ministry. The last-minute inundation and heavy logging of the official website of the e-filing portal of the department led to the extension of 5 more days for the filing of the ITRs by the taxpayers. The government also decided that for e-filing return, it is sufficient to quote Aadhaar or acknowledgement number for having applied for Aadhaar in e-filing website. The actual linking of PAN with Aadhaar can be done subsequently, but any time before 31st of August. However, the returns will not be processed until the linkage of Aadhaar with PAN is done. And let's take a look at other national news and developments nationwide. An encounter broke out early today between militants and security forces in Kashmir's Pulwama district. The encounter at Hakirpura village in Pulwama is still underway. Security forces have launched a cordon and search operation in the area. On the other hand, a terrorist was killed by the security forces on Monday at Turna village in Uri sector of the LOC area of Jammu and Kashmir's Baramulla district. The operation is still underway. The Supreme Court on Monday imposed a ban on the use of 5 harmful metals in firecrackers as they cause enormous air pollution. A bench headed by Justice Madan B. Lokur prohibited the use of lithium, mercury, arsenic, antimony and lead metals. The order came after the Central Pollution Control Board's member secretary told the top court that standards on air pollution caused by the bursting of the firecrackers are yet to be laid down and the exercise would be completed by 15th of September. Production in India's 8 major industries slowed down during June as the total output inched up by only 0.4% as against the rise of 4.1% in May 2017. The 8 core industries data, which represents the output of the major industrial sectors like coal, steel, cement and electricity, grew by 7% in the corresponding month of 2016. And shifting our focus on the international front, Pakistan Parliament will meet today to elect Shahid Khan Abbasi as the new Prime Minister after the disqualification of the 3-term PM Nawaz Sharif. Abbasi, former Petroleum Minister and a close ally of Sharif, on Monday submitted papers in the Parliament to become the new Prime Minister. His tenure is expected to last only about 2 months until Sharif's brother Shahbaz becomes eligible to be the Prime Minister by winning a parliamentary by-election. Meanwhile, Pakistan's opposition parties on Monday failed to agree on a joint candidate against Abbasi for the Prime Minister's election, with 6 candidates filing their nomination papers for the polls. But even a joint candidate cannot defeat Abbasi as his party, PMLN, enjoys majority in the 342-member House.
See, our priority is to continue from where things were on Friday, and to provide continuity to the country and to fulfill the aspirations of the people.
And in the latest sign of chaos inside the Trump administration, Anthony Scaramucci is out as the White House Communications Director after fewer than 10 days in the post. Scaramucci's departure comes days after they unleashed a vulgar tirade against two top White House officials in a conversation with a reporter. Comments that President Trump thought were inappropriate. Scaramucci is the third White House communications director to leave the post that had been vacant since last May. Scaramucci's departure follows one of the rockiest weeks of Trump's presidency, in which a healthcare legislation, one to replace Obamacare, failed in the Congress, and both his spokesperson, Sean Spicer, and the previous chief of the staff left their jobs. On Monday, Trump swore in his new chief of the staff, John Kelly, who is expected to bring a more disciplined approach to the running what has become a chaotic White House.
The president certainly felt that Anthony's comments were inappropriate for a person in that position, and he didn't want to burden General Kelly also with that line of succession, as I think we've made clear a few times over the course of the last couple of days to several of you individually. But General Kelly has the full authority to operate within the White House, and all staff will report to him.
And that's all we have for you in this edition of Breakfast News. Keep watching Rajya Sabha television.